All right, so cool to be joined today by the Latin Snake, my good friend Sergio Mora, live from Southern California, along with me, right, Sergio?
Yes, sir. No,
Love
nowhere
it.
else I'd rather be. Good to see you, Lance.
Hey, you could be in Saudi Arabia with Joshua Usyk, and I actually thought that's where you were. That's why I reached out to you.
No, no, no. Actually, no one's flying out there. It's going to be called out of a studio, but yeah, I'm kind of glad or relieved at least that I don't have to take that 14, 15-hour flight across the Atlantic.
Yeah, look, but you've covered basically all of Anthony Joshua's recent major fights, and you really know this situation. I think you're pretty good friends with, or at least you know of Robert Garcia very well, so you kind of know what is happening as we head into this fight. First thoughts, just as you assess Usyk Joshua too, and Oleksandr Usyk is a minus 155 favorite here in this fight, with Joshua being a plus 112 underdog. Is it going to be more of the same? Are we going to see a sharper Usyk, and is Joshua going to kind of like fade into history, or is this the great opportunity again for Anthony Joshua to resurrect himself and reunite himself with that heavyweight belt?
That's all we're all watching, Lance, because we've seen Anthony Joshua regain the championship. We've seen him get knocked out brutally and then come back and win the championship. So you can't count him out. He's mentally, resilient. He's just one of these smart fighters that knows how to win and put the right strategy together, no matter what. So you can't count him out. But on the flip side of that, I gotta agree with the odds. I think Usyk is just going to be very difficult to pin down from that southpaw stance, that pedigree he has, not only from the Olympics, but from cruiserweight, being able to fight like a smaller heavyweight, but still have the respect of a heavyweight when it comes to punching. Not only that, but he bulked up. He looks like a heavyweight now. I
Yeah,
mean, he looks like a full fledged heavyweight. So he bulked up. He's still going to have the fast feet, and he's still going to have the right strategy. He's going to have the advantage of knowing what to expect now with Anthony Joshua. The power, the length, the reach, the timing, and the confidence all moving forward. And not only that, but there's a lot of things brewing outside of just this fight. I mean, look at what's going on in Ukraine. As a Ukrainian, you think that this is going to be motivation not only for him but his countrymen, and something that he's very passionate about. Him, Vasily Lomachenko, and all the Ukrainian soldiers. So yeah, he's fighting with heavy shoulders and a country behind his back, and of course all those championships to defend. So I agree with the odds makers, and I favor Usyk.
really. Wow, yeah, that's so interesting. And I think for those of us who are more boxing centric, we think first of the fundamentals of the sport. But you're absolutely right. I mean, this is a fight for the heart, right? I mean, this guy is fighting for his country. He was right there, with the soldiers, basically doing battle. We don't know all the details of what Usyk was doing, but he was definitely there, ready to support his countrymen, and clearly wants to uplift them here for this fight. But look, let's talk more about what Joshua has done. Like you said, I mean, he did come back from the Andy Ruiz loss, and yes, Andy Ruiz, bloated himself up and kind of like, hurt himself immensely by the shape that he reported for that fight. That's not happening here in this fight. But what Joshua has done is aligned with a trainer, Robert Garcia. I think we all believe that Anthony Joshua needed to do something different to get away from Rob McCracken, because it just seemed like he was the same old guy and not really improving. Now that he's with Robert Garcia, what kind of effort and what kind of style are you expecting him to produce on Saturday?
I'm a big fan of Robert Garcia, huge fan of Robert Garcia, and I'm also a big fan of McCracken. I think I don't think trainer has nothing to do with this, man. So I'll be honest with you. I think he could have kept McCracken and brought in somebody else, and it would have been the exact same things. Uh, Maybe the strategy can be different, but it's all about the execution and whether Joshua has that in him. Can he actually cut off the ring? Can he fight like a smaller man? Can he fight hard when the going gets tough? Can he come behind and do something great and win? Can he rise to the occasion if he gets hurt again? These are all the questions. It has nothing to do with the trainer or the man that's in the corner. It's all on Joshua. So I respect the fact that he brought Garcia into his corner because I think he is going to bring something to the table. But whether he can execute that for 12 rounds, I highly doubt that, especially in a 7-8 week camp that they had. So it's not going to be enough time. As it is, whenever even if they did have a full camp of 10 to 12 weeks, it's only one fight. Normally, you get to see the differences in the second, third, fourth fight with a new trainer, building that chemistry. They're not going to have that luxury. If the going gets tough, can Robert Garcia really, give him that Angelo Dundee moment? You're blowing it. You're blowing it. You have to do this. Can he bring that out of Joshua? Does Joshua have that in him? You need experience with that. You need some kind of past relationship with that. You're going to have to see it in sparring and training. This is years of maturity and psychological games that you have to know your fighter. And that's why I think McCracken, that's who he's been with since he was an amateur. But that's neither here or there. I mean, we're here now. And I just think, Robert Garcia is going to bring a great strategy, but can Joshua carry it for 36 minutes? I don't think so. I think once he gets hurt, he's going to resort to what he normally is.
Does he need it? Do you think he's really intending to go for it to last 36 minutes, though? I mean, I've always thought that as we look at what Robert Garcia has done and with his fighters, usually it is an offense first type of style. He will send Joshua in there, to attack like a dog. Go get this guy out of there. And look, spend the first half of the fight on that mission. You don't see that type of fight taking place, given that Joshua is the bigger man and probably is packing the bigger punch.
Power's not going to have nothing to do with this, and we'll go back to Robert Garcia and the way he grooms his fighters. Mind you, he has these fighters since they were kids, 10 years old, maybe 12 years old, and he turns them into men. He knows what they're capable of. He knows what kind of grit they have. He's seen them bleed. He's seen them hurt, and he knows how they're going to respond. He has none of those luxuries with Anthony Joshua. Maybe he got a glimpse of it in sparring, maybe, for a couple of weeks, but not enough. Not enough to dig down into the character of what he has in those reserves. It's not enough, and no matter how great of a trainer Robert Garcia is, and I think he's a great trainer, I just, he's going to have too much to try to bring out of a former champion that you really don't know that well. You don't know him, you don't know deep down in character what does he have in him. And Robert Garcia can tell you, okay, you're going to do this and this and this, and that feels we're going to go to this and this and this. But Joshua may not have that in his reserves. He may not have that. He may not be able to give what Robert Garcia demands of him. So these are all the things that he's going to have to do to win. And cards are going to be stacked against both of them.
There's going to be so much to talk about this fight when it's over. Sergio, I'd love to get you on next week as well. But let's just touch on the idea that, what you're expecting to happen happens and Usyk wins this fight. Earlier this week, Tyson Fury announced that he really is committed to retiring. Does he stay retired with the potential for a fight with all 4 belts on the line? Can he truly do that?
There's only a certain amount of times you can cry wolf, and Tyson Fury's already retired, came back. Some odd reason he might be crazy as a fox. That's how the saying goes. We go from wolf to fox, but I might think that he will retire because if Usyk wins, if Usyk beats Joshua like the bookmakers expect, Fury's not going to want to come back and blemish his whole legacy on a guy that can possibly beat him or make him look bad in Usyk. He already had a perfect picture career. He made all the money in the world. He's the baddest man on the planet. He can go on and do so many things. He can be a motivational speaker. He can be whatever he wants. He doesn't need to come back for a headache like Usyk. So unless Joshua wins, then yeah, he'll retire. But, if the odds makers got it right and Usyk wins this fight, I think Tyson Fury stays retired.
Wow.
I believe him this time.